Hi, and welcome back to David Pattinson's Accused Friends. Today I want to talk about an announcement made by the chair of the Equality and Human Rights Commission, Rebecca Hilsenrath, who wrote a letter to 400 of Britain's top employers last week about new regulations relating to sexual harassment in the workplace and how they want to enforce higher standards or less harassment. And there's much more punitive measures attached to the new regulations. They're not law yet, but they're expected to be law, or at least plenty of tribunals that are a precedent for later law. And the reason I'm talking about this in this video is it's the way it's been laid out to all the top bosses. Is it's a sort of a breeding ground for false accusations, and I want to use this opportunity to try and explain why. So the Equality and Human Rights Commission is trying to step up action against what they call bad behaviour in the workplace, and they've defined sexual harassment to include propositions, suggestive looks, staring, leering, promises in return for sexual favours, spreading rumours, or asking intrusive questions about a person's sex life, as well as unwelcome touching, hugging, massaging, or kissing. And what they've done this time around is to extend the arena of what constitutes the workplace to include things like after dinner drinks or after work drinks, leaving parties, Christmas parties that the office have. And they've also put the liability not on the presumed female victim or the presumed male accused, but they've put it on the bosses of the organization. So it's the employer's responsibility to make sure this type of action does not take place outside the 9 to 5, office environment. So, if you're a male, you go out with a female colleague after work, she feels you've been staring or leering, she reports you to HR, the liability belongs to the boss, who may still be at the office, he may be in a different country, he may be at home. So I think for young people who grow up dreaming of being, big employers and big wealth creators for the country, you now need to think about specializing not so much in finance or in sales or in innovation or in operations or in accounting or marketing, but also in sort of being a nanny to your employees and regulating their bad behavior. So employers, according to the Equality and Human Rights Commission, are advised to take 7 steps to either prevent this from happening or to act once it's happened. And these are to develop an anti-harassment policy, engage staff, reduce risks, make reporting simple, provide training, act immediately when a complaint is made, and take steps to protect staff from harassment by a third party, including customers. So how much of employers' time is now going to be taken away from, the mission of the organization or the daily operations or finding new business to, training men and women to, on interpersonal skills, interpersonal relations? Would it be more effective if we just had, women-only divisions or departments or men-only divisions and departments so that this kind of stuff wouldn't happen? Are we going to make rules such as things like women can't wear makeup to work or they can't wear attractive clothing to work so that they don't attract any unwanted sexual attention? And, whenever I hear the phrase equality, I'm never thinking of, men are achieving this and we're going to bring women up to the same level. It's really about bringing men down and bringing women up. And if there's a situation where women have an advantage over men, we're never looking to build men up to that same level of equality. It's always a one-way traffic from promoting women, boosting women at the expense of men. And, just on these definitions or reluctant behaviors, if a man receives a suggestive look from a woman, Does that mean the woman's going to get fired? If the man feels that a woman has been staring or leering, is the woman going to get fired? If a man feels there's been unwanted touching, hugging, massaging or kissing toward him, is the woman going to get fired? And, I want to go out on a limb here and say, it's going to be a policy that is unequally applied, even though it's coming from the Equality Commission. If a man behaves inappropriately towards a woman, he'll be fired. If a woman behaves inappropriately to a man, it'll be excused away, or there'll be excuses made, like, if she's under a lot of pressure, or she's having a bad day, or whatever it is. So we call it equality, but it's not equality. So I also wanted to say that a good policy, just the final part of the directive, it's advised that a good policy will tell workers that harassment could lead to a disciplinary and them losing their job if it takes place in any situation related to work, such as a social event with colleagues and against a colleague outside of a work situation, including on social media. So reinforces the point I made, how we're expanding the remit from the quote-unquote workplace, which used to be the office, to now kind of mean almost 24-hour surveillance of your employees by the employers, or they will have liability over and above what I think they should have. So I thought this article was interesting. I think it'll lead to an absolute tidal wave of false accusations. If you have a boss that you don't like, you want to get rid of, just say, he leered at you at the after-work drinks, he'll be gone, and on and on and on. And of course, again, it's unequally applied if it benefits the woman. If a boss proposes marriage to a woman, she's in love with him, she's obsessed with him, what are we going to say? No, the marriage can't take place because this is a proposition during working hours? Or are we going to say, no, that's fine, the woman wants to marry this guy, so that can go ahead? So again, total unequal, or what I anticipate to be total unequal enforcement of rules made by the Commission on Equality. So I hope you found this video interesting, and thanks for watching David Pattinson's Accused Friends.